The ex-Prime Minister criticized his chief political rival's Windsor framework and suggested he will not vote for it as he gave his verdict in a combative speech. Boris Johnson today tore apart Rishi Sunak's Brexit deal on Northern Ireland, warning it does not take back control. During a speech at a global soft power summit in Westminster, the former PM revealed he will find it very difficult to vote for the agreement his successor but one struck with the EU. Mr. Johnson also insisted it was a mistake to jettison his controversial legislation to override the Northern Ireland Protocol, and the charismatic 58-year-old made a rallying cry to seize Brexit benefits, vowing to continue pushing for the UK to take advantage of its freedoms outside of the EU. Breaking his silence since the Prime Minister announced his deal on Monday, Mr. Johnson said, "I'm conscious I'm not going to be thanked for saying this, but I think it is my job to do so. We must be clear about what is really going on here. This is not about the UK taking back control, and although there are easements, this is really a version of the solution that was being offered last year to Liz Truss when she was Foreign Secretary. This is the EU graciously unbending to allow us to do what we want to do in our own country, not by our laws but by theirs." He added, "I'm going to find it very difficult to vote for something like this myself, because I believed we should have done something very different. No matter how much plaster came off the ceiling in Brussels, I hope that it will work, and I also hope that if it doesn't work we will have the guts to employ that Northern Ireland Protocol bill again, because I have no doubt at all that that is what brought the EU to negotiate seriously. In the meantime, I'll continue to campaign for what I think of as Brexit, because this is nothing if it's not a Brexit government, and Brexit is nothing if we don't do things differently. We need to take advantage of it and need to be seen to take advantage of it." But Mr. Johnson conceded people want to move on with the agreement on Northern Ireland, adding that they don't want any more ructions, and I get that. "I've got to be realistic about it," he said. "When I look at the deal we have now, I, of course, have mixed feelings. I'm conscious of where the political momentum is and people's deep desire just to get on." He also admitted he made mistakes with the protocol, saying, "I thought those checks would not be onerous since there isn't that much stuff that falls into that category. Most of the goods stay in Northern Ireland." During his speech, Mr. Johnson also highlighted plunging Tory poll ratings since he was forced out of Downing Street. He said, "I just want to point out purely for accuracy, when I stepped down we were only a handful of points behind the Labour Party at that moment. I'm just saying that," and he urged Mr. Sunak to slash corporation tax to Irish levels or lower, ahead of a planned hike in the rate from 19% to 25% in April. Mr. Johnson, "There's no point now in just emulating the high tax, high spend, low growth European model. We should think not about raising corporation tax, but cutting corporation tax to Irish levels or lower and really turbocharging investment to drive levelling."